episode of OFL News. Sitting here with me today is Bunglust, my good friend.
Hey guys.
Okay, so this week holds a few interesting matchups. We got the Firecats versus the Raptors. We have Huskies versus the Punishers, Rams versus Spartans, Raiders versus Ducks, and the Warriors versus the Bruisers. So for the first matchup, the Firecats versus the Raptors, I have the Firecats winning. They're a great team. Mr. Mack's a pretty good head coach. He's a good quarterback, but he actually will not be there. That's going to be the toss-up in this game. Uh, can the Firecats win without him? We're yet to see that. I think he's made every single game. Um,
Oh no, you're forgetting about the Raiders game.
was
He
he?
uh
Did he make the Raiders game?
I think he did for a little bit, but he had to leave at the end, and then they lost because they had to put I think Carlo Alfaro or something on backup, and he did okay, but they still lost.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
this game is interesting to me because with Mr. Mack there, that's obvious blowout to me. But without him, the Raptors, I think they're probably gonna win. I had the Raptors winning this game.
ooh. Actually, I was speaking with a few members of FFC, and they actually didn't show much confidence in their backup quarterbacks. With that, um, you know what? Before I was talking to you, I was gonna say FFC, but the more I think about it, the more I think the Raptors have a chance. But FFC is still a good team. They have some superstars on that team. Maybe they can pull out a win. Um, I still have FFC winning, honestly, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. For me, that is the matchup of the week.
Not for me.
Okay, second one, we got Huskies versus the Punishers. Uh, it's hard to do games where we're involved because obviously we're going to be a little bit biased. And I hate people that are in the comments saying, oh, you guys are biased. Well, obviously. So, I'll just continue. So
Well, I mean,
this,
you're obviously gonna have some sort of biasness for your team. Like you're not going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to lose all these games" as a Warrior Husky, and as a good team, you say you're going to win everything.
exactly. Like, oh yeah, for you rookies who are leaving hate mail, okay, don't be mad because I don't say your name. Uh, if you're a rookie, that means that you've only been in the OFL for like not for like a month maybe. I don't know every
Probably
single
yes.
person, so I mean, come on now. So Huskies versus Punishers. This game showcases the winless Huskies against our team, the Punishers, and the Huskies are really hungry for their first victory. Nobody likes to lose. Larry Fitzgerald is a pretty smart guy. He's played for us. Uh, I nicknamed him Mr. Grammar. I think that nickname suits him pretty well. But I I just don't think he has enough pieces around him. I don't think he assembled his team well enough to compete with us. To be quite honest, I don't think it'll be an easy game because I know how bad that they want to win. Because a winless season is not fun for anybody, and they've got nothing to lose, so they're probably gonna try some new stuff. Larry's a smart guy. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm not taking this game lightly whatsoever. Uh, you know,
Yeah, Larry to me, he tries too hard. He tries to make this like real life. I mean, he's the only team that uses offensive linemen, and then when you do that, you get rushed by like four guys, and he wonders why. He gets swatted 3 times last game by the same person, which I will never understand. But I mean, Larry himself, he's a really good player. In my opinion, he has the best hands, but he's not the best wide receiver. If you guys kind of understand what I'm saying, though.
yeah. Actually, just to touch up on that, actually I've had like catching competitions with Raider Nation, Xavier Pone, Night Train, and Larry Fitzgerald. The only person to beat me was Larry Fitzgerald, and it wasn't even like every other matchup I had. I won, and he beat me by like 2 or 3 catches. It wasn't very pleasant. So, well, you know what? I still have us winning that game because I think we just have more. I don't think that they can line up man for man and beat us. I don't think that they can do that. So the next matchup, Rams versus the Spartans. Actually, our good friend Angus Pepperer wrote an article on it. Uh, the title of the article was "Do Not Count Out the Spartans." I actually agree with that. I spoke to some Rams players, including Flaming Mushi and head coach Lord Jalis. They actually seemed like they were taking this game quite lightly. They said that they haven't had a serious practice for a long time. As much as they're a good team and they have a lot of good players, and they are, according to Lord Blackfire's rankings list, they are uh, the number one team.
They're the only perfect team left, basically.
Yeah. Uh, I'm not going to argue with that, but if they take this game lightly, as I think they are, then I wouldn't be surprised if the Spartans actually stole it away from them. But I still have the Rams winning this one.
I don't actually have the Spartans. I have uh, Ikios, or High Power HD, I think he's called. Now he changed his name. But I have him having a career game, and I have like a repeat of last season when the Bruisers beat the Rams. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close, but I had the Spartans winning.
That's quite interesting. We actually just scrimmaged the Spartans not too long ago. They did fairly well, but I don't know, man. The Spartans are, I don't know, they're kind of unknown. I gotta stick with the Rams. I think that the Rams are a better team, but the wild card here is, can the Rams continue to win if they're taking the games more and more lightly? I mean, how can you compete even with skill if somebody's practicing every single day and you're not? I don't see how you're gonna beat them.
Yeah, but that's just how they play, really. I mean, if you notice how much they just mess around during scrimmages and stuff. I mean, don't believe me, they're pretty good, but... Alright, let's go on the next game.
Yeah. So the next game, uh, is the Raiders against the Ducks. Uh, I have the Raiders winning. This is probably the Raiders' easiest game of the season so far. They face the Rams, the Punishers, FFC, and the Bruisers, which, again, going to Lord Blackfire's power rankings, those are all the top teams. And I just don't see the Ducks overcoming Collins' attack with Boss HD and McPatty lining up at wide receiver. Uh, I believe they still have Level God as their running back. That is a fierce team. Uh, win for the Raiders.
This is the game of the week. Easily the game of the week. If you look at the records, they're both... The Raiders are 2-2, Ducks are 2-1. And I think the loser is going to have a hard time making the playoffs. I really do. Because, I mean, if you had the Raiders, they'd be going 2-3. And you had the Rams, Bruisers, and then you had the Ducks in front of them. Yeah. Plus, the Ducks, they haven't even played, like, the hardest teams in the West yet. They played cake teams, in my opinion, and besides being the Bruisers. And I think this is the week we're going to see if the Ducks are really pretenders or contenders. Easily.
Who do you think is going to win this game?
Raiders. I got the Raiders. I mean, they added Nuzo and Level.
Could
And
you imagine if the Raiders missed the playoffs after playing as many good teams as they have? I mean, whoever made the schedule, it was definitely not easy on the Raiders. They probably had the hardest schedule so far, and could actually be knocked out of the playoffs with even just one loss, which is pretty weird because you could see the Bruisers, who have an easy schedule, make the playoffs, and you could see the Raiders actually fall out of the playoffs, having a hard schedule, even though I think the Raiders are the better team.
yeah, the Raiders, I mean, if you look at the roster, they have some of the most well-known and like best players in the league. They had Nuzo, Colin, Boss HD, Level, playing cool, and then you have McTaddy, which in my opinion, he's the best wide receiver as of now, because he's leading the league in receptions, something like 13, I think, over 4 games.
Yeah,
That's amazing to me.
you could make a case that he is the MVP this season, and I think you could make a pretty valid case that he's the best wide receiver this season. I don't think he's the best wide receiver in terms of overall talent, but I think he's the best wide receiver in productivity this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
But
by far.
yeah,
I
by
think
far.
I'm second in productivity, and I'm not even close. Like I'm like a full. How many touchdown catches does he have? I know I have 8. I
I
don't know how
think he
many he
has
has.
12 or 13.
Jeez, that is insane. Although he has played one more game than we have, so we'll see how that goes.
Even then, man, I mean,
That's a lot of catching up for me. So McPatty, keep up the good work. Maybe you'll win some awards at the end of the season.
yeah, they really need to do awards. Like, they never did awards yet.
They're doing
I
awards
think,
this season. Really want to announce it.
oh, we did?
Yeah.
Alright, that's news to me. I never knew that.
Okay. Let's continue on to the next game. The last game of the week is the Warriors versus the Bruisers. Uh, I can see this game being one of the most boring this week. Uh, I don't really have much interest in it. Honestly, though, it's pretty bad because the Warriors are still looking for their first win, and it pains me to see them struggle because I actually tried out for the Warriors, as most of you guys know. I tried out for the Warriors in season 1, week 2. I didn't make it, and I did get my revenge in the Victory Bowl, but you know, I still want them to strive like how they did in the first season because uh, you know what? I still want to compete with them. I don't want to say I didn't make a winless team, and I like JWoww. I think he's a good guy. I actually don't know him too well, but uh, he's 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 a good guy. I'm not too sure. I know that they actually gave up on like 2 or 3 of the games, which I don't understand. Like watching in kicked mode, I think I recorded one of them. Um, Vreeling and JWoww were talking. They're like, we're not even trying to win this game anymore. We're trying to get people reps, and it was like this. It was like the first half. I don't understand that. You know what? The Warriors, they've never been the same. They lost way too many good players that they just didn't replace. They lost Flaming Mushi, Vito, Shadow Girl, Wikipedia, who is now Larry Fitzgerald for you guys who don't know, and so many more great players. They're just not the same team. Uh, you know what? The Bruisers looking to bounce back after a loss last week. I don't see the Bruisers losing. I have the Bruisers getting a W in this one.
Yeah, I think the Bruisers clinch if they win. Do they? I know the Rams do. Um, I don't know if there's 4 or 3 teams.
I believe it's 4. Night
If
Train told
it's,
us 4 last time he was on the show, so I'm gonna go with 4.
I don't think they can clinch, but I think it's a lock. Like I can pretty much guarantee they'll make the playoffs unless they just choke, like chokeless or something. Yeah, but this game, I don't understand what happened to the Warriors. They fell off a cliff. They had a perfect record in the season 1 until the Victory Bowl where they lost. But regardless, it was a great team. They had Vito, Shadow Girl. Those are like Shadow Girl, in my opinion, was the best cornerback in the game in season 1, and then she didn't really play at all in season 2. But I don't know, man. I think the Warriors. I think they need a new head coach. Same with the Huskies.
Yeah,
You
actually,
can't go 0-4 and expect to have the same head coach.
yeah, I think it's outside that at the end of the season they're probably gonna be fired. JWoww. Actually, you know what? Verlion was in an OFL game with me, and he didn't seem too happy with JWoww. I'm not too sure on what the relation is like, but I know that Verlion was actually posting on the wall that he could potentially be a free agent. How crazy would that be? The commissioner and the head coach of a once undefeated team going to the Victory Bowl could potentially be a free agent like this season. That's insane to me. I mean, I honestly think that Brilliant will just take over the head coaching job again because you know what? I think Jay Wow's a solid assistant coach. Didn't quite work out for him. He didn't bring in the right people. But in all fairness, when he got the head coaching job, Brilliant left him with a team in shambles. Like they had nobody.
Um, I think ever since Brilliant's computer broke or something, he couldn't coach as much, and that's a downfall of the Warriors.